Testing. 1, 2, 3. Oh my gosh. Oops. This was not scheduled, so but man, do we have a lot to talk about. All right. What is up, everyone? How is your night going? Hope you guys can see me. I don't do live streams that often. Well, let's see. All right, cool. Looks like we are in business here. Just waiting for people to pile in. Hope you guys are having a good night so far. It has definitely been a lively day in the crypto market. My gosh. What is up, everyone? What's up, Defense? What's up, Austin? What's up, Fox? Ada to the moon. Yeah, oh my gosh. This is quite the day. I'll tell you what. You know, I will say it's so nice to finally start seeing all these things we've been talking about, all this stuff we've been manifesting, these pumps, these breakouts, finally start happening. It's crazy, right? I am doing great tonight, Aaron. Love the name, by the way. How are you doing? What's up, Sasa? Man. We are so close to Altseason. This is exceptional. Shib woke me up. Actually, you know, Shib did wake me up. There I was, just relaxing, watching. I don't even remember what I was watching, but just, you know, having a glass of wine, celebrating the exceptional day that we're having. And there Shib goes, deciding to wake up on the exact day like we were talking about. Crazy how that works, right? Ada played no games today. Ada just melted faces. My gosh. Do I use a plugin for TradingView to make calls? No, actually. So I do have a trading indicator that I use. Let's go to the charts here. All right. Oops. Need to update a couple things here apparently. No, I do have an indicator that I use for some signals, but for the most part, I've been trading for a very long period of time, actually for over 20 years. And so I've gotten very accustomed to some of these formations and how they break out. And, you know, if you follow me here on the channel a lot, you know that we look at a lot of these fundamentals, and the fundamentals have been pointing to some very specific directions for a while. And we were just waiting for this breakout to happen. And it finally took place. I'm sure everybody's very happy that we're finally seeing these things. So first of all, let's talk some SHIB. My gosh, look at what Shib and Ada is doing. We are above 4027. We're finally pushing these ranges that we saw back earlier last week. And who's to say where SHIB's going to stop here? All right, that's very exciting. Patience was all we needed with Ada. Yeah, I mean, patience is all we need in this crypto market in general, okay? We've been on such a long period of consolidation. We're kind of waiting for retail to catch back up, right? To retail to truly get excited again about the crypto market and start to see some of those capital inflows that we've been waiting for again for so long. And the crazy thing about this is we're starting to see a lot of these breakouts throughout the space, right? Shib and Ada's done exceptionally well now over the last hour, we'll say it, right? And BTC has been doing exceptionally well. We know a lot of those US-based cryptos are doing quite well. Ada is one of the best gainers in the market today. Stellar, just again, looking stellar. And you're seeing the hints, right? We are seeing the hints of people getting freer with their capital. They've been playing things so close to the vest for so long and playing things so tight. And we are finally starting to see people get comfortable again and get more excited. But again, the wave has not hit. That is crazy. On our way to our 55,000% gain. Yeah. You know, when I saw a lot of these people talking about this Doge level move, right? And really the formation they were talking about was taking us to this 405 range, right? Setting a new cycle high for Shib and, you know, basically getting us back on that path towards an all-time high. But I really started to think about this, you know, what Shib and Doge had in common. And there were a lot of similarities, but Shib has been doing things at a lot faster pace than what Doge has. We hit more holders. I'm trying to formulate my train of thought here. We hit more holders faster than Dogecoin did. We pumped faster than Dogecoin did. We have larger optics than Dogecoin did and still do. And that's where Shib is kind of a unique asset. Are 25,000 ADA enough? All right, I'm gonna try to go back through chat. I apologize here. Is 25,000 ADA enough? It all depends on what your plans are, how long you plan on holding on for. I mean, we still have a lot of market cycle ahead of us, guys. So much. We're still so early. And that's the crazy thing about this, right? We're just getting started. ADA today doing exceptionally well, climbing all the way to $1.15. Kind of crazy to think about because just over a month ago, people were talking about ADA being dead and not doing anything, stuck at 32 cents forever. And then now look at us. One of the best performers in the crypto market. It's crazy. Crazy. We're still waiting to know what my first name is. My first name is Aaron. All right. Let's see. Okay. I gotta go back here. All right. So I'm doing good tonight, Aaron. I'm doing good. Was just relaxing. One of the kids is over at grandma's house. The other one's watching TV. So I decided to go live. Let's see. Yeah, I don't do lives very often anymore. You guys may not know this, but I used to be a professional gamer. And so I used to be live all the time. I used to stream every single day. And so this was kind of my heyday. This was my element. And now we've gone to obviously YouTube videos, which is very different, but gotten a lot more comfortable with that over time. So what was my first experience with crypto? I actually got into the crypto market back in early 2021. And for the most part, I wanted nothing to do with crypto. I kind of ignored it, didn't really care about it. And in fact, I saw some people do exceptionally well with BTC early on in that market cycle. A couple of buddies of mine, one of them, he actually owns like a couple clubs here in Wisconsin. And he bought BTC at like $8,000. All right. And I think he sold all of his, but he did quite well. And it really wasn't until a buddy of mine that I worked with actually suggested this coin called AMP. And I'm sure you guys have probably heard of AMP. The Flexa network, it's a pay rail system. So crypto spending is obviously a niche market here in the US right now, but it's really growing overseas. And I actually saw the utility, and the utility is actually what brought me into crypto. And I'm like, man, you know, this is a super smart piece of tech. And I did well with AMP, and then I got into some other payroll systems. I looked at Cody Pay for those that are familiar with Cardano, right? Obviously, Cody has gone on and done some, you know, cross network stuff now, cross blockchain stuff. But then I got into Alchemy Pay, one of my best performers ever, because I got in on the Coinbase listing. But then, you know, I've diversified as time has gone on. I've looked very in depth into all these different assets throughout the space. I look very, very deep at these fundamentals. And that's why we've been able to identify some of these ones that right now are performing very, very well. So that's kind of my story of my my crypto journey. It's kind of taken me all over. I've gone to different places, met a bunch of different people. How much SHIB do I have? So I never disclose how much I have in terms of assets. You know, it can be construed as financial advice, but I will say I'm comfortable. I've done a lot of accumulation. I try to let people know, you know, when I am adding to my portfolio. I've been kind of quiet as of late. I have some other stuff I have to pay for. I mean, I have multiple businesses. We have kids. They have activities. You know, it's, yeah. You guys, I'm sure many of you know how that goes. So let's see. Quant prediction for the end of this bull run. Wow. Quant is something I actually have not. Let's look at Quant. I haven't talked about Quant in a while. There was actually a period where I talked about Quant quite a bit. Let's see, $1.3 billion market cap. You know, Quant's kind of a tricky one because they have a lot of or had and probably still have a lot of government contracts, which if we really think about it, the whole government and enterprise adoption is an area that's just starting to get tapped into. And with this new administration coming in, that's a very pro crypto movement. You're going to see a lot of these enterprise and government grade blockchains really take some significant steps forward and be looked at in a very different light than they were before. And that's why something like Quant, something like obviously Ripple, Cardano, Hedera, many of these other ones, especially these US based cryptos, you're going to see a lot of these really kind of emerge. And it may not be all at once. All right. Obviously, when we look at something like Quant, for example, well, it's actually done pretty well in the last 7 days. Yeah, I got most of it in the last 7 days, 41%. But we're probably going to go through some of these similar sub cycles like we're experiencing right now. Like if you guys haven't noticed, it's been a lot of layer ones, some layer twos right now that are really the big focal point of capital currently. Well, we'll probably get an emergence of that again as we get a little bit further on, maybe into the start of alt season. So something to probably watch and pay attention to. Let's see. Okay. What's the average regular retail people hold in Ada? I don't know if I looked at. By the way, if you guys are not using Into the Block, I would definitely recommend doing so. It's an awesome analytics platform. They give you guys a ton of information. You guys have probably seen me use them a ton in my videos. I love watching, whale movements, size of transactions, average hold times, all these different things. And I'm pretty sure there is a way to tell on here what the average holding is. Again, I totally came into this stream unprepared. I was just like, man, Shib's doing well. We gotta get online and talk about what's going on right now. Anyways, I'll see if I can find that out. Maybe talk about that another time. Okay, let's see. Shib is pumping. Yes, it is. Shib is doing well right now. Shib is making the exact move. I'm gonna get rid of some of these lines. All right. We talked about this move. I figured it would break up. It's breaking up. Right now, Shib is doing very well. Daily high 4027,645. We have to know that again, right here is our point of resistance. You guys remember, this is our break box. We are in our break box currently. This is the break box from all the way back in May to the start of June. This was the moment that Shib and Ada actually had the ability to make another extension and push back towards this 4045 range. So if Shib can break through and maintain above this 4028 level, it's a very short leash to some of these cycle highs that we were seeing. That's what's really, really exciting right now about Shib and Ada. Spam the chat, jeez. Yeah, please don't. Just bought $200,000 in XLM. Nice. Stellar's a good play. I actually don't think I had Stellar in my top 10 in this cycle, which, yeah, I mean, that's one thing that we really didn't talk about. I've posted my top 10 assets for this cycle, the ones I think are going to be the top 10 in terms of market cap, and I'll show that here in just a short bit. But we haven't really looked at how things might be evolving in the industry now. And maybe this is, I'm trying to think of the best way to describe this, because we're starting to get into mass adoption. Okay, mass adoption is basically a guarantee in this cycle, which means you're going to see retail hit the market in a big way. We're going to see the hundreds of billions of dollars of capital enter the market. You're talking about trillions of dollars of liquidity, right? And that's just from retail users. That's a very exciting thing. But we really haven't talked about the embrace from, again, big business, from governments. And that might actually change the scope of things, because retail, the big focus that they have, meme coins, gaming was kind of a play before. It's gotten kind of quiet as of late. AI is still going to be a big focus there. But many of these enterprise grade layer ones are I think, going to make kind of a resurgence. And you might start looking at this cycle kind of the way that you did back in like 2016, 2017. We may see some very similar trends from at that time, which is actually kind of, I don't want to really say surprising, because that's the cycle that we most closely mimic right now is exactly what happened back in 2016 and 2017. So that's kind of interesting. I think I think Stellar's a very good play. All right. Let's see. Good to see you. Been in crypto for 3 years. Been serious for about 1 year. So glad you see your perspective. Appreciate that, Donnie. Appreciate that. Do I think Bonk will end higher than Shib by the end of this cycle? All right. So, all right. So let's talk about meme coins for just a second. I'm sure there'll be more questions about this. So here's the thing. All right. Do I think, and I actually talked about this in a video, do I think that there are going to be meme coins that flip Shib and Ada by the end of this market cycle? And I actually don't think so. All right. Now, this may be kind of a hot take. Some people might not like this, but what you need to understand too is that this doesn't mean that other meme coins aren't going to do well. Remember, meme coins are one of the biggest points of adoption in the crypto market. They will be some of the highest recipients of capital. Wow, cattle. Yeah, that's right. I have cattle. So it will be one of the highest recipients of capital in this crypto market. In fact, we have set a new all-time high in terms of the market cap of meme coins. All right. We're talking higher than 2021. And that's a really big sign, because as more retail comes into this market, as they bring more capital, as they bring more speculation, you're going to see meme coins really flourish in a big way. Okay. Now, that being said, I've had a very consistent view, even from the depths of the bear market cycle, from the early days on my channel over 2 years ago. I was talking about Shib and Ada once again flipping Doge and basically never looking back. And I think the tokenomics and what we've seen from the fundamentals really support that. And maybe, again, some people don't like to hear that. But again, that doesn't mean that these other coins aren't going to perform well. I think Pepe is going to gain significantly. Bonk, obviously being one of the largest meme coins on Solana, is going to do quite well. WIF is going to do exceptionally well. Floki, I love Floki's tokenomics, to be honest with you guys. Brett has been a huge up-and-comer. Don't be surprised if many of these jump to tens of billions, maybe some of them even pushing $100 billion in terms of market cap. That's not crazy by any stretch of the imagination. So that's kind of my thought there. All right. Thanks for your down to earth, easy to understand explanation of investing in crypto. Appreciate that, Checkmate. I always hope that I'm not explaining things in a way that go over people's heads. I've been sitting on my ADA bag through 2021, currently 540,000 ADA. Life is about to change dramatically. That's awesome, man. That is a very great bag to have. And, kudos to everybody that sat through all this time of the charts being down, dealing with the negativity, the negative sentiment, the pushback, the people calling ADA dead, saying Cardano wasn't doing anything. And this is why we dove so deep into actually what was going on, all these partnerships that were being formed, people being frustrated about price not moving because of that. Like I've always said, price is the lagging metric. It's always going to be the last thing to reflect the good fundamentals that have been taking place. And the cool thing about this is this isn't just ADA specific. This isn't just SHIB specific. This goes for anything. If you have something that is making significant progress towards the future, something that is either utility based or something that really will draw optics in a big way, if price is not reflecting that, that's a huge opportunity. That's what we looked at ADA as and what we looked at SHIB as for a very long period of time. All right. So let's see what cryptos are you following right now, watching for a breakout to go long on? Ooh, that's a good question. Oh gosh, let's see. Let's just go through the list here. ICP, I've been watching for a long time. ICP has been very undervalued. It's making a nice stab towards the upside here as well. Caspa has always been a favorite of mine. I bought actually Caspa. We actually talked about Caspa in my Patreon. If you guys want to check that out, the link's in the description below. We have a Discord. We have constant communications going on. Right back here is actually where I bought Caspa. And I talked about Caspa breaking out, and then we watched the breakout in our Discord, which was awesome to see. But there's been so many value buys opportunities on Caspa. I really like what's going on with Caspa. Solana, I still think is going to do exceptionally well this market cycle. I don't think it's really an enterprise grade chain per se. I'm sure there'll be some businesses that use it. I don't think it's going to get tapped by governments, but I think that Solana is probably still going to run towards $1,000. That would not surprise me at all. Render, I've really come around on Render. I love a lot of AI plays. I think Render's going to keep doing well. Let's see. Injective. Gosh, Injective was like the easiest trade ever during the early part of the bull market. I mean, it was range bound for so long, but I like Injective. Fetch, I think, is a very good option as well. And again, obviously none of this is financial advice, but there are a lot more coins I'm watching this time around than last market cycle. All right. A lot of good up and coming stuff. Can I see SNEC hitting 5 to 10 cents? Ooh, good question. Let's see. Where's SNEC at right now? Oh my gosh, it's only 0.4 of a cent. That's only a 10x. Bruh. I mean, okay. So I'll say this. This is actually a really good discussion to have. So I obviously do a lot of Cardano content. We talk a lot about the Cardano ecosystem. So what's crazy about this is the Cardano ecosystem has not been really tapped in a big way. If we really think about this, right? So only $20 million worth of DEX volume, only $132,000 worth of NFT volume over the last 24 hours, 63,000 daily active users. Not sure how active this is because I know activity has been picking up. But what's interesting about this is Cardano has kind of been an island, okay? And I don't mean that in a bad way, because it's a robust island. It's been growing. There's tons of infrastructure that's been built. There are a ton of great dApps and smart contracts that have been deployed on Cardano, and this is increasing all the time. And the big thing it hasn't had is this pathways to other liquidity, okay? Now, this is changing because Cardano has been very focused on interoperability. Obviously, the ability to be used as a smart contract layer for Bitcoin is a huge deal because then you can tap into Bitcoin liquidity. You can actually use Cardano smart contracts on Bitcoin and vice versa. All right. And this interoperability is only going to continue to expand as time goes on, as there are introductions of new multi-billion-dollar stable coins into the Cardano ecosystem. The crazy thing is that this ecosystem has not been tapped into in a big way. All right. And what I mean by that is look what the largest market cap is. It is SNEC. Okay. It's the largest coin in all of Cardano. It's a $300 million market cap. Okay. We should be seeing assets in the billions to possibly tens of billions by the end of this market cycle. This isn't, a guarantee. This isn't financial advice or anything like that. But when we look at other ecosystems in this space, there are other coins that are tens of billions of dollars in market cap. All right. Shib and Ada, largest ERC20 in the world. It's a $15 billion market cap. And I could go down the list here. Obviously, a lot of these are, in fact, their own native tokens for their own blockchains. And that's not surprising. That's where most reside at this list. But you'll see many ERC20s. And Ethereum is a blockchain that is slowly losing ground to some of the up-and-comers. And now we're starting to see some other tokens climb this list. All right. For example, where was it? Anyways, you guys get the point. There are other native assets for other blockchains that have reached billions of dollars in market cap. And for many of these Cardano tokens, it wouldn't surprise me that with listings, with additional stablecoins, with the additional paths for liquidity, to see a lot of these flourish and do 10x, 15, 20, 100x, right? Nobody knows what's going to happen, but that's actually a very good question. All right, let's see. Do I think that Shib will ever launch their version of the metaverse? So that's actually a very good question because the Shib ecosystem has been in development of a lot of different things for a very long period of time. In fact, I used to cover the Shib ecosystem quite heavily. Okay. They had the Shib metaverse. They had the Shib and Ada Eternity game. There's Shibarium, the layer 2 blockchain. There's a lot of things that are supposed to be part of this, but a lot of it's had trouble kind of materializing. And this, some people will have disagreements about what this actually means, but I think that the Shib ecosystem team not necessarily lost their way, but they're kind of on their own path. And I've kind of been waiting for this moment where the Shib and Ada community and the Shib ecosystem can start to reconvene and head down the same path again, a path of decentralization like Shib and Ada is, and to put governance back in the hands of the people. And I think that's a very important point if Shibarium and the Shib ecosystem are going to gain adoption. And the Shib metaverse is supposed to be a very big part of this. Metaverses in general, let's see if I got the tab here. I might be able to find it. Metaverses in general have gotten kind of quiet. If you guys haven't noticed that, gaming, metaverse have kind of calmed down a little bit. And those are more late, we'll call it late cycle things, but you will see this emergence again, right? If you remember Axie Infinity, ApeCoin, Sandbox, many of these were well over $1 billion in terms of market cap. Some of them multiple billions. So where the Shib metaverse is at right now, if they can get it out in time, it could gain some traction as we get deeper into this cycle. It's more of a late cycle thing, if that makes sense. I'm really falling behind on the chat, guys. I apologize. Okay. Let's see. So glad about XLM. Yep, absolutely. It's been awesome. Let's see. Will Bitcoin ever have a bear market like the past, or will this steady demand? Okay, this is a really good question, because this cycle is similar to 2016, 2017, but the rate at which we're going to see adoption is very, very different than what we've seen in the past. For example, something that we haven't had in cycles past is institutional money. So institutional money is creating a very different demand than what we've seen before. And hopefully I can, there we go. It's my first time using this site. So it's created something very different than what we've experienced in cycles past. So we're seeing tens of billions of dollars of additional demand coming to the market from people that haven't necessarily been here in cycles in the past. And this is big, big money. These are asset managers with trillions of dollars in management. And this early 10 months, now that we've had spot Bitcoin ETFs here, and obviously the last 5 months of spot Ethereum ETFs, this has kind of been the toes in the water. This is where you're starting to see big money truly enter the space in a much more prominent way. At the same time, you're seeing, again, enterprises start to utilize blockchain tech. They're really in that kind of discovery phase right now, where they're figuring out what they can actually do, how they can utilize blockchain tech in their businesses, and how they can integrate that in a big way. And the great news is that some of the coins that we talk about here on the channel, that's a big focus of what they do. And then at the same time, we're dealing with government embrace. We're also working our way into mass adoption. So we're going to be climbing from 5 to 6% of the world currently in crypto to 10% plus. So you have all these big different types of adoption that are happening all at the same time. And that's what brings me to this idea that this may in fact be a super cycle. All right. What that means is that, we go through these corrections every cycle, right? 4 years, basically 4 years, rinse and repeat. It's happened time and time and time again. We'll have one red year, we'll have 3 green years, 1 red year, 3 green years, right? And this is mostly in terms of Bitcoin I'm speaking about, but alts tend to follow the same thing. They just might have one more red year, okay? So the interesting thing about this now is as this demand heightens and you start to see it maybe put into reserves for governments, as you see institutional money become large holders of the assets, as you see it become holdings by some of the largest corporations in the world, there is less liquidity to actually move price to the downside. And that means that these dips will lessen. It means that the crypto market will actually become more stable. And what you're actually seeing is an evolution of the crypto market into maturity. Okay. We're in what I would consider to be a very immature market right now. And why I say that is when you have something like BTC that is a $1 trillion market cap that frankly can shed 15 to 20% in a day, which we have seen in this market cycle, that's an immature market. Okay. We're still an immature asset class, but that's going to be changing over time. We will get more stable as more capital flows into the market because it's harder to move the needle one way or the other. Okay. Hopefully that makes sense. So I don't think we will see maybe as deep of dips. The bear market cycle may not last quite as long. All right. We're still luckily here. We're going to witness the early parts of mass adoption, which is going to be some of the best opportunities for growth in the crypto market in general. So hopefully that answers that. You buy back when it drops again. Took some profits. Hey, you know what? There's nothing wrong with taking profits. Profits is very, very important. Okay. I'm way behind, guys. Let me just kind of zip down. If I miss your question, just post it again. Sorry. Oh, actually, here you go. Yeah, I missed so much. Let's see. If Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers, how many pickled peppers would Peter Piper pick? I've never known the answer to that. Can peppers actually be pickled before they're picked? I don't think so. So 0. All right, it's checking. It's happening now. Check Shib and Ada. Yeah, Shib and Ada is doing well. We're going to talk a lot about Shib tomorrow. I want to see where this runs to overnight. I want to see what overseas money does, because if overseas money makes this push on Shib, that may be the start of this big breakout like we've been talking about. Got to advertise the Discord. Yeah, I mean, we have lots of discussions. We have tons of stuff going on in the Discord all the time. Constant communications. What did I eat for dinner? So I actually had some leftovers, but I made this. I've been starting to cook a lot, and I made this new recipe yesterday, and this is sticky garlic pork chops. Like, look at this. Okay. Delicious. Just absolutely delicious. Maybe, you know what? Maybe I'll start posting some links to recipes if you guys want. But yeah, I made that for the first time ever, and it was awesome. Oh yeah, if you guys haven't already, make sure you hit that thumbs up button, share out the stream. Hope you guys are enjoying things so far. All the bros in the house say, yo, what's up, Paul? How's it going, man? Let's see. Do I think Ada will climb to the top 5? I could see that happening. Actually, you know what? This is a good point to bring this up, actually. So I came up with this chart for my top 10 assets by the end of this market cycle. I have not changed this in quite some time. So we're gonna reflect back on this and see how this plays out by the end of this market cycle. So this was my projection for where assets were going to hit. Bitcoin between a $3 to $5 trillion market cap, Ethereum at a $1.5 trillion market cap, BNB around 500 billion. That actually might be changing. I might need to revise that. I don't know about you guys, but I haven't heard a peep out of BNB. Not like nothing. It's just quiet. It's just there, you know? I mean, they have high centralization. Obviously, Binance, the chain itself, will probably bring some people into the space in general and some more capital to the chain. But I have ADA around a $500 billion market cap. I've said that for a long period of time. I've said that since the bear market cycle. Solana around 500 billion as well. Some people might disagree with me on that, but I've said that I thought Solana was going to be a very good early market performer and then a not so great late market performer. Like from where we're at currently, I think Solana maybe does a 4x. Maybe not. We'll see what happens. SHIB between 300 to 500 billion, XRP around 300 billion. Again, this is the one that I might really have to change in a big way, because if we continue to see this embrace here in the US and this push towards blockchain adoption from the new administration, this could be significantly higher. I mean, it might be right up here with these other $500 billion assets. AVAX around 250 billion. That one, maybe. ICP around 100 to 300 billion. There's a big spread on ICP. It's going to depend on adoption. Big thing. Basically, the biggest thing we're waiting for in Cardano is the biggest thing that internet computers waiting for too, and that's adoption. And then ASI. All right. Biggest, was the biggest AI play in all of crypto. And I think it will be again. I think just the joint venture between Fetch, Ocean, Singularity, I think it's too big. And they're now tapping into partnerships with Injective. They're using NewNet. I mean, it's becoming basically an AI powerhouse. It would not surprise me if ASI Fetch is around $150 billion market cap. That's what I've kind of put in a while ago. I haven't really looked at it as of late, but that's my thoughts, at least as of right now. All right, let's see. What else do we got here? Cardano is going to 0. There, it can go to 10 now. You're welcome. Benjamin Coles. Good comment, man. Good comment. All right. My wife just started talking to me again when she saw ADA at 110. I guess that's good. Yeah, that is good. I have approached things very smart in this market cycle, and that is to not tell my wife where our balances are and not tell her where the price of assets are. She can know that when we take profit. All right. Let's see. You are like a lighthouse guiding the way through the storm. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. The Cardano vision and my conviction in the leadership in the community is what kept me holding. I knew big things were inevitable. Yeah. I mean, the stuff for Cardano coming out was so big. You can't you can't keep that big of stuff quiet forever, right? It can't not impact price for, did I say that right? Yes, it can't not impact price in a big way forever. So yes, there probably was some people holding it down. Some people were fudding themselves out. But the biggest thing that I want to point to actually in terms of ADA, and this is something I referenced a lot, this was actually whales, okay? Whales were actually one of the biggest points of conviction when it comes to ADA. And apparently this isn't going to load now, but whales during this whole process were accumulating. All right. They had some of the most conviction out of all the holder bases in Cardano, and they just continued to add and build to their position. I mean, just look, first time we've had like a substantial profit day in terms of ADA by whales. Oops, there you go. Was actually on November 20th. They took profit the other day, and then guess what? The 21st, they bought back basically exactly what they sold because they're like, oh shoot, we're not done running yet. So yeah. Lost 33% of the portfolio trying to short XRP at 141. Oof. Yep, that's not good. I'm staying so far away from shorts. Yeah, I'm staying so far away from any short position right now. So this close to Altseason just seems crazy to me. Has your cycle high for ADA based on what you've seen change so far? Actually, no. So my projections have stayed pretty consistent throughout most assets. Some of them are changing slightly. Obviously, XRP with this administration change, that's where I think there's more upside potential. ADA, I have consistently said since the bear market, $7 to $15 ADA. That makes a lot of sense. It's going to depend on demand, how much these different pieces of infrastructure that have been built actually get put into play. And frankly, if you see major Cardano ecosystem adoption, if you see big government adoption, that's where those blow off tops really become a realistic possibility. And that's where you're talking about even above $15 ADA. All right. That people said was crazy before, but now that ADA's at $1.10 before Altseason, I think it starts to come into a little bit better scope for people. Does anyone think we can get to $15 next year? Yep. Do you think Sol can overtake ETH? I think it's possible. I think Ethereum may get passed by more assets than people think. Ethereum had one of the biggest benefits of first to market. It was the first real chain that people were really able to build functional smart contracts and deploy new projects. It was very simple, very easy to use. But there's been a lot of other chains now that have come out that have faster throughput, faster settlement time, cheaper transaction costs, more scalable. And you're starting to see, I think Ethereum slow down a little bit because of that. And this may not be the cycle that Ethereum takes big steps back. I think Ethereum still has a high percentage or a high majority of its gains ahead of it in this market cycle. But I wouldn't be surprised if some of its market share starts to get taken by some of these other up and coming blockchains. Good question, Defense. ETH 15K end of the bull run. Yep. Actually, that's about where I was seeing it, right about 15K. Oh yeah. What's going on with ETH? Well, there you go. Let's talked about it there. The biggest thing is they still have not fixed the transaction fee issue. That's the biggest thing. Any thoughts on Graph? Yeah, Graph has been doing well too here. I think they categorize it under AI, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. Graph has done very well. Actually, I think Graph has been one. Yeah, I did actually some trading on Graph earlier on this cycle, back here. And yeah, I mean, Graph's got a lot of potential ahead. I mean, just look where its prior all-time high is, $3. Right now it's at 23 cents. Huge opportunity. Again, not financial advice, but you're going to see so many of these coins just smash through their all-time highs the deeper we get into this cycle. It's going to be insane. All right. Defense, you sold Shib at 27.10. All right. It's all good, man. Ooh. Look at this, guys. BTC dominance. Look at what it just dropped to. Sub 60. Wick down to actually 59.35. All right. We're close, guys. We are really close to Altseason. All right. I've said that we need to breach this trend. This trend is very important here. And right down here at this 200-day moving average, this is the bull market support for BTC dominance. And when you start to see BTC dominance fall below this, it's a very big indication that alt season is upon us. I'm not saying that's where 100% it's the case. I'm not saying that's where it's the trigger where it's going to do it. And I think by the time we get back down to this trend here, you're going to see either BTC slide maybe just a little bit, or alts just take up some significant ground. You're probably going to see that USDT dominance really drop off in a big way. I don't know if I looked at that today. I mean, just look, right? This is last cycle trend. We're following it exactly. Okay. And we still have so much capital to hit the market. So this is probably even going to slow down before it really gets down here. So those are a couple key things to watch here moving forward. Let's see here. Time for Shib to take off. Absolutely. Yeah. Jasmy's definitely a really hot early market play. I haven't heard much about Jasmy lately. Yeah. Look at this. You know what though? I will say for Jasmy to be that stable is kind of impressive. It truly is just impressive. The level of resilience, the fact that it did not drop below there is kind of wild actually. Let's see here. And yeah, NTX is a great buy in the Cardano ecosystem. Yep, absolutely. $3 this year, $5 this year. All right. Ada, I'm assuming you're talking about. So Ada this year, you know, this is something I laid out in a video. Actually, we talked about the top and bottom trends here, and you guys can see that Ada's very, very quickly approaching the top of this trend. And this is where we were talking about a $2 Ada by the end of this year. And we're on, maybe we smash through that. Maybe we don't. Actually, what's kind of interesting about this is if you guys see, we're actually mirroring this trend. So it's a real possibility that Ada ends the year somewhere around $2. I would not complain about that. I would be 100% fine with that. Frankly, as long as we get to around $3 to $4 by March, I think we're in a really good spot. That is a really good setup for the rest of this market cycle. It's a really good setup for the biggest times of adoption, especially as you're going to have, again, some of those bigger deployments, possibly additional liquidity coming to the Cardano ecosystem. Perfect timing. All right, let's see. I stay away from most things. ETH gas fees are unpredictable. Yeah, they are. I still remember, I don't know if anybody experienced this last market cycle, but Ethereum gas fees, some transactions, $1,000, just insane, unusable. That's what it was at the height of the last bull market cycle. All right, so this must be a BTC comment. It won't drop below 100K ever again. 550 Bitcoin per day by just the U.S. government alone. Then steady bi-weekly inflows from retirement funds. Yeah, you know, I think that's a big psychological spot for people when it comes to BTC, and I really like the push that we got today. I'm sure we had another big institutional money day. Would not surprise me at all. And some people taking profit right before $100,000. And if you guys saw my videos earlier, we talked about some of that short interest that existed there. And let me see if I can pull that up here. Again, I was not prepared for the stream, guys. I apologize. Let's see. Bitcoin short liquidation heat map. Okay. Let's see what we worked into today. Yeah, you guys can see there's, oh my gosh, shorts are going to get crushed. Look at this short interest. This is lunacy. Why would people do, oh my gosh. At 99.6, still the same levels this morning. Buffoonery. That is so wild. If BTC makes a push at 100K, and people aren't paying attention, it's going to blow to like 102. All right. Yeah, you're talking billions of dollars in shorts to be liquidated. That's just insanity. It's absolute insanity. Oh, let's see. Jared Block live. Love it. Luck. Yeah. Appreciate it, man. I know I don't do too many lives. I'll probably start doing these more often. I mean, you guys might not know this, but I have multiple businesses. I have a 9 to 5 too. So I have to be very careful with my time. Most of my content I actually film during the morning. I try to film some during the day if I can, if there are important things that we need to talk about. But otherwise, we have a beef cattle operation. My wife works full time. We have 3 kids. They have their activities. It's difficult to fit it all in a day. Let me tell you. Let's see. I'm in. Ooh, I think it jumped again. All right. Shoot, chat's jumping all over. I'm lagging. I'm slowing down. Apologize, guys. All right, odds of SHIB getting to 1 cent. All right. It would take a while. It would take a while. I mean, at that point, you're talking, well, let me rephrase that. Okay. Because this is a very touchy subject when it comes to Shib Inu. You know, some people have crazy wow. First of all, let's look at SHIB again. All right. 40277. Looking pretty good. So some people have expectations for Shib Inu of $1, a cent, 10 cents, and maybe even higher than that. And I have to say that we have to see one of a couple things take place. So we would need to see either a significant amount of supply removed from Shib Inu. If we want to see that this cycle, we would have to see an absolute blow off top where you see the global market cap of crypto, instead of topping out somewhere in that $10 to $12 trillion range, top out somewhere around $20 to $30 trillion, which actually isn't that crazy if you really think about it, because of all these types of adoption, the big adoption that's happening at once. Maybe that's something that happens, right? But then you still need to see SHIB gain some significant dominance. So last market cycle, for example, and actually I was going to talk about this. I was going to talk about this in a video today, but didn't get to do it. Oops, not showing this here. Sorry. So SHIB dominance topped out last market cycle at about 2%. So if we maintain 2% through the end of this market cycle, if we get back to those ranges and we get to a $10 trillion market cap, you're talking about a $200 billion market cap in terms of Shib Inu. Okay. And that would put us at what, probably around 305. Okay. Which some people think is unrealistic. It's just math. Okay. If we climb to 4%, which is the next natural range of dominance in terms of Shib Inu, that would put us around that 201 level. Okay. So then these start to come into a little bit higher scope. So you'd have to have some pretty significant shifts in the crypto market for us to, at the current projections, get to a 1 cent Shib Inu. You'd have to see SHIB climb to like 40% dominance in terms of the market, which is pretty unrealistic unless everybody coming into crypto during this market cycle flows into SHIB. I'm not saying that's not possible, but some things are a little bit different than cycles past. Like we've talked about, obviously now the types of embrace, the things that some retail is paying attention to, this being very similar to 2016 and 2017 rather than 2020 and 2021. So that's why my projections have been 305 through 201. Maybe it goes even higher as we get deeper into the cycle. We'll have a lot better idea once we get into March. Okay. So let's see. So Defense said, I think Hoskinson is going to be advisory board for some sort of a CBDC in the Trump administration. He has some role. CBDC is not coming. Trump has already said that he is not pushing for a CBDC. There's already been bills put into Congress to shut down a CBDC. We're not going to see it. I know there are many countries around the world that are developing one. I don't think the US, at least with this administration that's coming in at the current time, is going to be one of those. I think they're putting a kibosh on that right now. How many Cardano would you need to have to be considered a whale? I'm not sure what the actual number is, to be honest with you. Let's see. You're probably what's the supply? 35 billion. I don't know. Someone comment. Let them know what the answer is. All right. Let's see. Hello. Where ADA and XRP are now, when would you say is a good stop limit in case something were to cause a crash? Some people put drops at like 20%. I mean, that's usually where I've done it. If I'm pretty heavy in profit, it's like a 20% retracement. If we're doing what we're doing right now, I might set it to 30. Again, you can do what you want. This isn't, financial advice. I've been trading for over 20 years. So I've done various things based on how fast assets move. We're kind of getting into a little bit of price discovery and a little bit of supply shock, especially when it comes to ADA. So you're going to see a lot more volatility as we move forward here. Does anyone here have any thoughts on MSTR? MSTR. Why does that sound familiar? I don't know that one. Oh, MicroStrategy. Duh. I have not bought any MicroStrategy stock. I don't do a crazy amount with stocks anymore. That's where I started. But what do you do in your Patreon? Can we get tips, entries, targets? Yeah, actually, in my Patreon, we discuss a lot of different things. You get insight into what I'm holding, when I'm buying, when I'm selling. We talk about like breakouts that are about to hit. You know, we've identified that with Caspa, Ada, Shib, many of these other assets. We have a discussion going on constantly. Let's see what else. Gosh, I'm trying to think about all the different things that we do around there. We shoot the shit a lot of the time too. It's a fun way to engage. You can have me look at your portfolio too. I can tell you what stuff I like, what stuff I don't. I can't advise you because I'm not a financial advisor. But yeah, entry. And the biggest thing too is, you know, I try to space out my videos so I'm not just dumping videos on you guys. Cause I film all my stuff in the morning. I could just dump, but I don't do that. And so there is some information that hits the Patreon before it hits the YouTube videos. So keep that in mind as well. What's your Shiba bag look like? Can't tell you, but I'm looking very good right now. Obviously my long positions, yeah, you guys can see my longs. There you go. My long positions are looking good on Shib right now. This is that one that I opened up the other day. If you guys remember, I was talking about that inverse head and shoulders playing out. I opened that up just the other day. That's up 90%. My big one, 708%. Gosh, my Ada one right now. Whew. I have to sign out of this account and sign back into my other one to see what that's at. But that's like 2,000%. Looking good. All right. Cardano 5 to 6. Yeah, that's below my low end projection, but let's see, Jasmine is 2 cents, $1 to $5, maybe more depending on how high Bitcoin goes. Working with Apple and AI, fixed supply. See, for some reason, I thought Jasmine did not have a fixed supply, so I'm gonna have to look into that. Let's see, XRP $20 for sure. Well, it's maybe. I mean, I think I before had said $8 to $10. If I remember correctly, I could see 15. It all depends on how big the adoption gets. That's the strange thing about this market is it's very different than what we've seen in the past. And if you see Ripple continue to set up new partnerships, utilizing XRP in a big way for cross-border payments, especially here in the US, like I talked about in my video today, there's no telling what XRP can do. You have to have 100K to be a Shiba millionaire. Actually, what did I say? I think I said the perfect amount of Shiba Inu to hold was 100 million. I did a video about that a while ago. I think that was a really good spot. That's life-changing money for a lot of people. Shiba Inu has almost 1.5 million holders. Oh yeah, let's look at the holders. I hope my stuff doesn't crash because of how many tabs I have open. I did not close anything from this morning. Pretty close. We're still on the climb. 1,433,000. That's awesome. You're going to see Shib eclipse 3 million holders easily in this market cycle. It's going to be wild. All right, let's see. When is the end of the bull run? Good question. My projections for the end of this bull market cycle are October of next year. And that's just based on each subsequent market cycle. The halving moves closer to us. The end of the cycles move closer to us. So October would kind of be that natural time if that structure stays the same from cycle to cycle to cycle. Oh, let's see. ETH is going to 0. I wouldn't go that far. ETH has a pretty big and dedicated user base. It's got layer 2s, which help alleviate some of the load on the network. So I don't think it's going to 0, but I think there's a lot of up and coming options that may take up some of that ground. The dogs are breaking out. Yeah, the dogs are breaking out. Actually, let's look at memes. Man, I really want Shib to just keep pounding the ceiling here and just blow through it. I think it's going to. Just got to give it time. Got to be patient, right? Patience, biggest thing. Yeah, look at that. Shib and Doge just in tandem, just pumping. Gosh, they're so good. I love crypto. I'm sure you guys love crypto too. All right. What is my opinion on the start date of alt season? That is a great question. So I have talked about this in a couple of videos. So post halving, it is, I believe 120, was it 100? No, 224 days post halving is the typical breakout date for Altseason. And right now that actually falls on November 30th. So we might be 8 days away. We'll see what happens, right? Maybe it's sooner, maybe it's later. Let's see. How's Tom Brady doing with FTX? Probably not great. And that's disappointing because I'm a Patriots fan. Hopefully you guys don't hate me for that. I've dealt now with pain for the last few years. All right, it went boom. Yeah. Okay, let's see. BTC dominance under 58%. Yeah, we talked about that. Dominance is dropping like a rock right now. Appreciate what you do. Expect BTC to hit 100K today or tomorrow. I honestly thought that. Apparently my wife's home. I thought that BTC really had a shot at hitting 100K today. It was very, very close. I think 99.5 was where it topped out at. Let's see. 99,662. So it's going to depend on what retail decides to do over the weekend. We don't have institutional money. We are sitting on the edge of a lot of short interest, though, like I talked about a little earlier. And if one thing is for certain, it's that market makers like to liquidate those who are betting one way or another too hard. And you guys can see that right now. There's huge short interest, and there is some long interest below here. Yes, absolutely. But there is a lot more short interest. And the market makers will want to try to push it one way over the other. So that's what I'd be watching as we go into the weekend. We'll see what retail does. Maybe retail decides to take some profit, but yeah. Alts will continue into August. Yeah, the way I see this market cycle is just like other ones. Rise up to the early spring, cool down in the summer, and then late market pushed, just like always. See, should they use Shiba for gas fees or for Ethereum? And plus, can't they use gas fees to burn SHIB? Are you talking about Ethereum itself, the blockchain? I mean, it's hard coded in that Ethereum has to be the gas fee, but what I'd love to see is the SHIB community make a proposition to like Binance, similarly to what Terra Classic did and currently has, where they're actually removing Terra Classic supply, LUNC, with all the transaction fees that are taking place. Think about how much Shiba Inu that would actually remove from all these transaction fees that we're currently seeing. I mean, when we look at the Shiba Inu market in general, there's, first of all, we're in the billions of dollars per day again, $2.4 billion. And you guys can see that Binance is some of the higher traffic exchanges when it comes to this, $340 million. Just think about if they had a 1% burn fee, right? I mean, who knows? That could really honestly be something significant. I talked about that actually earlier on this year, and maybe we'll see what happens, right? Let's see, is there a pullback coming for ADA, or should we just buy now in and try not to get ticky-tack for 10%? It's tough to say, right? We're trying to figure out how much fuel ADA has in this tank, and it's been running so hard. This is so crazy. And what I keep going back to is that we're still not in alt season. Big money hasn't really flowed back to the space in a big way. And even some of that capital that's just sitting on the sidelines right now, it's starting to get a little antsy. If you guys haven't noticed, right? It's just kind of pecking away at positions. And ADA's been one of the recipients of that, right? There's FOMO setting in a huge way. And like I talked about earlier, I would think there would be a retracement at some point, and maybe it's right now, right? Maybe we hit 115, maybe we pull back to $1 or just below $1, but then we continue. Okay. This is where it gets so tricky around alt season that me personally, I just don't play games. I don't want any part of trying to get cute, because think about this. The people that tried to get cute back here, they got absolutely wrecked. People that tried to sell their position, oh yeah, we're going to 15 cents, 20 cents. And then they get left behind by 100% move over the course of 7 days. Hopefully that makes sense. And again, people can do what they want, but I try not to play games, especially when we're talking about something that can create generational wealth down the road. All right. Any thoughts on Quant? Yeah, we talked about Quant. Quant's good, especially if you start to see the government really try to tap into blockchain tech again. They've had some Some partnerships there for a very long period of time. Let's see, Ada, Crow, Caspa, XRP, XLM are my favorites. Definitely some good choices there. Fact, Jasmine is quiet is telling you something. Yeah, actually, you know, I tend to really look at assets that are kind of quiet. Right now, Jasmine's still floating kind of around the middle levels in the RSI. I mean, probably weekly's there too. Yep. Monthly might be a little higher. Actually, it doesn't give me the monthly. Yeah, I mean, Jasmine's kind of, gosh, it's right at its spot where it's getting pretty close. It's sure looking like it. And really, once you start to see some of those sub cycles again take place, it wouldn't surprise me if you start to see stuff like that really begin to take off in a big way again. How's XRP looking? Yep, XRP. Gosh, just ripping again. Wow, I didn't realize it just moved so quickly. I mean, look at this right here. 7.5% hourly candle. Man. Well, it's looking good. We'll say that. It's going to look probably better the deeper we get into this cycle. Let's see. Thoughts about Cody. I honestly haven't really looked at Cody in a while. I really haven't looked at Cody since last market cycle. I kind of got away from some of the payroll networks, but I think it's something that we need to start looking at again, especially as there's a big embrace here in the US taking place. You're going to see the niche stuff like crypto payroll systems and crypto spending start to really tick up here, like we're seeing abroad. Let's see, H-bar prediction. Ooh, that's a tough one. I don't know if I've done an H-bar prediction before. 56. See, it's tough to say again. You know, on US based crypto, if you, this is where things get tricky, right? If you see them actually pass legislation that will prevent capital gains tax on US based crypto, you're going to see H-bar, XRP, Ada, Algo, Stellar, all these different ones just explode. Why would people not, right? There's right away potential 40% opportunity there for people, especially some of the big holders. That's a really exciting thing. Let's see. Yeah, right. Worried about pennies or 5, 10x in the future. Yeah. Do I run an Ada stake pool? I do not. What about PRQ reactive? I don't think I've looked at reactive. Ooh. I don't even see that one. PRQ. I don't see that. PRQ. Don't know much about that. Haven't heard of that. I'm gonna have to look at that. Have I looked into Nutcoin or have insights on it? I have not. Something I'll have to come back around on. Let's see. End of the cycle is in the spring or in October of 2025. Some people have thought this was going to be an accelerated market cycle, but nothing is indicating. Like the only thing that people were looking at that were saying, oh yeah, the market cycle's top is going to be in the spring, is they looked at the BTC all-time high pre-halving and they're like, oh my gosh, yeah, it's such and such a time after that. But the problem is that was the only thing that was different, was institutional money pumping BTC in a way that we had not seen yet. And that led us to all these short liquidations. It led us to BTC setting a new all-time high early on and doing these things we've never seen before. But everything else from a time standpoint, from a structure standpoint, has stayed exactly the same. So no, I would say that the top is probably going to be later in the year. Again, maybe some people disagree, but it's just my thoughts on it. Okay, let's see here. I think I'm catching up to the chat now. NTX. Yeah, I like NewNet. I do like NewNet. I got some NewNet at a little bit higher price. I should probably actually average down. Whoa. I think NewNets has actually been ripping. Yeah, it's doing well. It's doing really well. You guys should probably check out NewNet. 104% since election time. All right, let's see. What's up, Craig? Welcome. About ETC. Ton of greed in the market. There's a lot of greed in the market right now. And you would think that would cool down at some point, but it may not. That's the crazy thing about Altseason. Oh, Ethereum Classic? I don't really touch Ethereum Classic, to be honest. Honestly, I can't say I've really looked that much into it. Haven't really dove into the ecosystem there much, but how high do I think ADA BTC will go this cycle? Your target is 5,000 sats. Okay. This is a fun one. I like talking the ADA BTC chart. Okay. So we have blown past 1,000 sats. That projection, spot on. Love it when that happens. I love it because it makes it a lot easier. It's a lot easier when you're right than when you completely get things wrong. So, okay. So right now we're at 1,000 sats. And so you're saying 5,000 sats for the top. So here's the thing. When we look at this structure for the ADA BTC chart, we look at two different trends here, two different scenarios. And one of these is from that blow off top that ADA had in its early market cycle, which gained significant dominance for BTC, bringing in an all-time high of like $2 ADA. And then you see basically a descending dominance versus BTC at the tops, right? That's where this gets kind of tricky because I think this early market cycle was a little bit misleading. And this would signify that we'd probably have a top somewhere around like 4,000 sats, right? On the opposite side, this is maybe about where ADA should have stopped, okay? Maybe around the top of this pump here. This should have been back here. We had price discovery while the market was running wild, and that makes assets do some pretty crazy things. And in fact, ADA maybe should have had a little bit higher of a high. If you guys remember, it stopped climbing early because of the introduction of smart contracts in September of 2021, which means it missed out on 2 months of gains. And frankly, that could have taken ADA from $3 to $5, right? Pretty big difference in terms of market cap. You're talking about, God, what did we hit? Was it $100 billion? Yeah. You're talking about a difference of like 160, I'm sorry, you're talking about a difference of about $60 billion. All right. That's a pretty big difference. And that makes these things look very, very different. But this dominance, I could honestly see it all the way up at 10,000 sats by the end of this market cycle. Anywhere kind of in this range would make a lot of sense, to be honest with you. All right. Okay, let's see. It sucks to see Shib starting the pump, Doge catching up and taking over. I'm starting to think about making a switch. I'm tired of seeing every coin kick our ass. So the biggest thing that I want to remind people is that you don't have to get it all at once, right? Even if another asset climbs and catches up, we need to remember what Shib does, right? It has some good pumps, some good little runs, but then it just melts faces. It does a 4.5x despite being a multi-billion-dollar market cap, and it does it in just 7 days. The good thing is that Shib has had such good fundamentals. It's had a major supply removal. Right now, there's less available Shib on exchanges right here than there was back here. And what that means is that Shib can make these moves, these hundreds of percents moves, just like that again. And that's why I'm patient. That's why I don't do lateral trading right now. I don't move from one asset to another because frankly, they're all probably going to make some gains here. But I look at which one has the fundamentals to support the most significant gain. And that's why I like what's going on with Shib. That's why I like what's going on with ADA. There's some other assets that are showing some very similar stuff as well. Let's see. Shib is legit in the same position Doge was before it went to 73 cents. Yeah, 100%. Okay, let's see. Do I think Shib, or do I think after this bull run, the price will drop hard or will it be more like the Dow Jones? I think we're still pretty early on in terms of the life cycle of crypto. We're still going to be in the early stages of mass adoption. We're not going to be at like, 60, 70, 80%. Once we get to that point, that percentage of the world in crypto, it's going to be a lot more stable of a market, but we'll probably only be like 10 to 15% by the end of this market cycle. So you're still going to probably see a lot of volatility. Trend break incoming on Sol. Yeah, Sol set a new all-time high, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, set a new all-time high. I'll say I think a couple days ago it set a new all-time high in terms of market cap too. Also, what's up, Luck? What's up, Destro? Yeah, the bear market. All right. Are we going strong into crypto through March or longer? If so, when would be the best time to take the most profit? So I've talked about this a little bit. I look at things from a time perspective, and the way I've approached this is kind of that March, April, May time frame is where I look at taking some profit. That's about the time where really all these market cycles have started to cool down, right? If you look back here in 2021, March started to slow down. You saw some corrections. April kind of peaked, came back down. And then in May is when we dealt with the summer. Now, granted, we dealt with China banning Bitcoin. We had BTC drop to like 30K. So there was something that pushed us down. But that was about the point where you started to see the cool down, right? Even if we look in 2017, kind of around June, we started to cool down a little bit. Actually, even in March, you saw the cool down here, and there was a little push to the upside. But even in the years outside of the bull market, we tend to do the same thing. Around that March, April, May point is where you start to see the market cool down a little bit. The summer gets kind of boring. In the bull market, there's still some excitement. There's still money to be made, but yeah. All right, let's see here. Do just a couple more. So the wife just got home. I gotta get to sleep so I can get up early and start talking about hopefully a Shib breakout and further ADA pricing and the crypto market just exploding. I look forward to RippleNet, possible replacing the Swift system for wire transfers would be amazing. Yeah, I mean, I think you're going to see it. You're going to see a lot more blockchain-based systems. You're going to see a lot more crypto-based systems in general, not just for cross-border payments, but for a lot of different pieces of infrastructure that you currently aren't even paying attention to. I don't think anybody knew this, but I believe it's Zelle. I think Zelle actually uses blockchain, if I'm not mistaken. Troy Babs, I like your ADA BTC comment. Like button smash. Appreciate it, man. Snek, Nuvola, IAG, any of the other flagship ones, really. Yeah, a lot of, again, Cardano native assets. Gonna do well. Gonna do very well. Let's see. Pepe price prediction. I don't do a lot with Pepe, but Pepe has been doing well. It's got a hot narrative right now. It's got a lot of volume. Volume is slowed down now. You're kind of seeing that cool down like we talked about. Because I told people that this flip between Shib and Pepe wasn't as close as people thought, because we would see this excitement from the listings, right? Robinhood, Coinbase, but then you always deal with some sort of cool down. And luckily, it hasn't led to much of a retracement in terms of Pepe. It's been about 10%, right? But you're, I think, going to see a little bit more tempered of a run moving up. I could see Pepe getting to $50 billion market cap, maybe $100 billion market cap. There's again, a lot of retail that has yet to come to this space. And meme coins are going to be a big recipient of a lot of that capital. A lot of it. All right. Let's see. A couple more here. Do I think institutional money will mute the next bear market? Yeah, I talked about that a little bit. It's definitely possible, especially if they're buying and holding. The more you see these long-term holders buy and accumulate, the more you see them buy and hold, which is what institutional money does. It's what businesses are going to do. That's what the government's going to do. The less downside risk we have in the market as a whole. And again, the more capital you see come in period, the harder it is to move to the downside. How far do I think Sol will go? $1,000 Sol is what I've been kind of thinking since the bear market cycle. And that's been playing out pretty well so far. $12 to $15 ADA, right within the threshold. Let's see. Yeah, should take profits before May. They say sell in May and go away. Yeah. How far do I think Doge can go? That's a good question. You know, Doge, I was definitely a little nervous about after last market cycle. Early top, not really coming back, but there's good momentum behind it. It's a strong community. It's a blue chip asset at this point. I mean, what? It got to, did it get to, yeah, it got to $100 million market cap last market cycle. 250, maybe somewhere there. I will say this. I'll be the first to say that Doge has really surprised me. It's done better early in this market cycle than I thought it would. That's why it's not on my top 10 list there. So I may have to adjust that as well. But again, retail is going to pump meme coins. You're going to see that. Let's see. A stop loss set for Cardano. I have no stop losses set anywhere. Not even on my long positions. I'm open wide right now. That wasn't the right way. What's your target for Shib to cash out? Again, it's going to be more based on time. You know, if Shib really starts turning some heads and starts hitting some of those, 305 kind of early on in the cycle, I might have to change the way I'm approaching things a little bit, but Skunky Mule, love your channel. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. 74 cents is the prior all-time high for Doge. Yep. All right. Any last questions? Probably need to wrap it up for the night. Wife's home. I need to get to sleep. Gotta get rested for hopefully another big day in the crypto market, right? I'm trying to think of if there's any other things that I really want to touch on. BTC, we're gonna have a 100K break at some point soon. Shib, if we get an overseas money push, Shib's gonna break out. Bara. This one? $1.6 billion market cap? Did this just launch like today? What the heck? Interesting. I'd be curious to see the holder distribution on that one. Do you hold some ADA forever? This is a great question. All right. So here's my thoughts. I am not going to liquidate all of my assets. All right. When I get to the end of this market cycle, I want to have probably somewhere between 10 to 20% of my bag, depending on where prices are at. Because I understand that, again, if we enter a super cycle, we're not going to have the same types of dips we normally have, which means we won't have as cheap of opportunities to re-enter the space. But I understand at the same time, there's going to be a lot of up and coming tech. There's going to be a lot of new launches. Hell, some of the best performing assets in this space probably haven't even launched yet. Okay. So that's the way I'm going to approach this. I'm going to make sure I still have some in my bag, but I'm going to make sure I take enough to where I can do what I need to do. Right. When's the next stream? I'm not sure. This is the, I think, third stream I've ever done here on my channel. And maybe I'll make a more regular occurrence of this. And definitely if we get to the point where I can start doing this more often, again, I have multiple businesses. I have a full-time job. I have kids, activities, things like that, right? Maybe if some of that starts to clear up a little bit, we can make more time to do this more often. Do I know a good place to learn more about day trading as a beginner? Depends on what kind of trading you're doing. I started trading actually when I was in grade school. All right. I started managing my own stock portfolio. I've done Forex, options, all sorts of different stuff, and been in crypto for years now. I've done a lot with leverage too. I used to be a pattern day trader in the stock market, and a lot of it has to do with trial and error. I'm sure there are some good tutorials on what to do. But the biggest thing is study structures, study trends. That's some of the biggest things I can say. Crypto's a little different. Fundamentals come into a lot more play, but let's see. Bitcoin dominance is still high. Real alt season hasn't started yet. Yep, 100%. What do I think about Charitable, redeemable unit trust to avoid capital gains at the end of this altcoin cycle. Have not thought about that. I should think about that. My mom's actually an accountant, so I should talk with her about that. Why is XRP going up so much? Actually, you should check out my video from earlier today. Big news. Very similar stuff to Ada. Obviously, with Brad Garlinghouse going to be helping form, working with lawmakers in Washington to help form regulation. He's has met with Donald Trump to help with the crypto embrace here in the U.S. Gary Gensler stepping down come January 20th. The big question then is, what does this mean for the case, the Ripple v. SEC case and the appeal? That's kind of why XRP is running wild right now. Oh yeah, and the potential for no capital gains on US-based crypto. That's another one. Like Midnight and Apex Fusion still to come. Yeah, actually, there's a huge Midnight airdrop that's going to be coming too that people need to be paying attention to. Do super chat. I don't even know what super chat is. I'm not gonna lie. I'm old, man. Let's see. XRP or dog? That's a good question. I think Dan Gambardello is talking about dog a lot, if that's the one I'm thinking of. I haven't really paid much attention to it, to be honest with you, but if you can become, that's got to be it. Yeah, if you can become the most dominant coin on a blockchain, then you're the most dominant meme coin on a blockchain, you're pretty well set. Jesse Wilson. Yeah, I remember. You've been a subscriber here on the channel for a long time. A lot of people here have been here for a while. Appreciate you guys dealing with the early content and how terrible it was. My gosh. I don't think there's been an official date for the midnight airdrop yet, but I know Charles Hoskinson was talking about it on his stream the other day. So definitely make sure to pay attention to Charles Hoskinson's announcements when it comes to that. But I'll obviously let you guys know as soon as I hear something. Let's see. Oh, wait. There was a Shib comment. I don't think Shib broke out yet. Still in the bull flag. Actually, no, Shib did break out. I mean, you can see it. Ooh, don't want to move any of those. Shib did break out. It's heavily broken out right now. It exploded. It popped out the exact day that we were expecting it to. And right now, the big breakout I'm watching for is this one, right? This break box that was right here. It's right here. We're sitting in it right now. We're right about at the top. This is where Shib might get crazy. So watch for that. Let's see. Oh, lets you tip me. Maybe I'll do that in the future. Who knows? Really enjoyed the live stream. Hey, have a good night, Casey. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate you stopping in. What my day job is? Yeah, I actually I sell vehicles. I sell cars. Chevys. Yep. Then I have a beef cattle operation. My wife works full time. Oh yeah. Yep, we are always busy. Always busy. How's Shib looking on the 24th? Well, what's today? 22nd? Well, looks good right now. Shib 3022 end of the bull market. Oh yeah, dude. Remember, my projections have been somewhere between 305 to 201, so I could definitely see 3022. Is Pepe on the move? A little bit, yeah. I'm curious to see what kind of profit taking there's going to be here still. Been selling cars for 14 years? Dang. I've been selling cars for 8 years. 8 years. Yeah, I mean, the 24th, I think it's just a random day that people were kind of throwing out there, but really, right now is the day that you needed to be paying attention to. This was the exact day for our formation. Doge at 46? No way. Oh, wow. Ooh, you guys might be starting to see the meme coin season live. Interesting. Sol could rip 20% here. It could. So I will say the biggest thing you need to watch with Sol is next year. There's a lot of VC unlocks that are coming. And many people don't know this. A lot of these have been sold off from the FTX estate, and they've been sold off for what at the time was a 66% discount. Okay. Which means that many of these other assets, or many of these holders of these now VC funds, are probably going to do some unloading. So that's something to pay attention to. Have I met or talked with Oscar Ramos or Austin Hilton? Yep. I actually know both of them. Austin is the one who told me to start a YouTube channel. Oscar, I actually met in, let's see, where did I meet him? In Daytona. Yep. Spent time with both of them, both awesome guys. I actually remember we were at this beach house in Daytona, out right on the freaking beach. You could walk right out to the ocean. It was awesome. Awesome time down there. Hey, Caleb. Appreciate it, man. Didn't even see you pop in here, dude. Caleb goes back to my gaming days. That's wild. Let's see. Car market is tough, right? Actually, I mean, not really. It's been pretty good. I mean, the thing is too, if you've been doing it for a while, like I have a huge book of business. I have a lot of people that are repeat customers that come back that just pop up out of the woodwork all the time. That's why it'll be so hard to retire when we get to the end of this cycle. Ada will be the reason BTC dominance drops below 40%. You know, between Ada, XRP, XLM, HBAR, who am I missing? Algo, Shib, Doge. Those are going to be the big ones that are going to push BTC dominance down. Don't be surprised. Ada price top this cycle when? I would think October still of next year. That's my guess. Can XRP hit $4 by March? I would think so. What catalyst do I believe would have to happen for it to jump to $20? You'd have to see, again, a big bump in partnerships here in the US for Ripple, which they're basically non-existent because of the Ripple v SEC case. You'd have to see something with, I think, Ripple and US government infrastructure, or just government infrastructure somewhere throughout the world. I know there was talks of utilization of that. Where was it? In Europe? Gosh, you guys wouldn't believe the amount of articles I have to go through every single day. I've probably forgotten more about crypto than I remember. What's that top break box you're talking about for SHIB? Oh, yeah. So this right here. So this top break box. So this was basically our zone of resistance. Oops, moving lines. This was actually our zone of resistance all the way back here in basically May into the start of June. That if SHIB was able to break through it, it was going to be kind of the rocket ride back to these high prices. All right. And we got our strong rejection here. That's where we got our head and shoulders. That's what pushed our price down in terms of SHIB. And we're now again at this zone of resistance here. And in this break box is very thin liquidity, and SHIB doesn't like to live in these levels. It likes to be either above it or below it. And right now SHIB is obviously on a quest to try to get above it. So if we get a breakout here, if we sustain this, then SHIB kind of lives in no man's land. We're back into price discovery. It can start moving really fast. Thoughts on Ethereum? Only crypto I'm not up 100% on this run. Yeah, I mean, I feel like Ethereum is kind of it's kind of like the safe coin. I still think Ethereum is going to get to, what did I say, a $1.5 trillion market cap. Wouldn't surprise me. I think there's enough traction in this cycle for it to still do well. You haven't seen a lot of these other blockchains do enough to replace Ethereum yet, because so many of them have had so many glaring problems, whether that be exploits, whether that be downtime, whatever it may be. They don't have the right tech in place yet. Yes, there is still a big problem with gas fees on Ethereum though. Yeah, Jupiter, Radium, yep, Crow. I know Oscar's actually a huge fan of Crow. Imagine another war starts and the party ends again for us and people will sell because of fear. Honestly, if war does really escalate, that's a huge, huge opportunity. Think of the COVID crash. Right? That would be a huge, huge buying opportunity for the market. Just imagine we're soaring high and we get a dip like this. Oh my gosh, I am buying so much crypto at that point. Don't tell my wife, but I would buy so much. Okay. Because we know where prices want to be. If you got like a 60% dip on ADA right now, tell me that you wouldn't be adding. I 100% would. Same thing for any asset in this space. Yep, 305 Shib. I do like render. I have render. We want to start taking profits on Shib long trades. That's a good question. I'll probably take some profit on that more recent one. Well, I don't know. It's so tough. I really like where they're at right now. I mean, that one I opened up the other day, it's up like 100%. The other one, 725%. My ADA long's like 2,000%. This shorter one here, maybe at like 500%. I might take it probably once we get back to around 4045. I think that's about when I'll close that more recent one that I opened, but the other one I'm still holding for a while. So, okay, guys, I'm going to shut her down. I need to get to sleep. I got to rest my voice because I got to make some content tomorrow. We got to see where the market's at. Hopefully, again, we get a surge of money from overseas again overnight. There's obviously a lot of things that are making some moves right now, and hopefully we just continue to get these breakouts. Like you just said, Alexander Sol just broke resistance. It broke above 260. Things are looking really good. Link has been kind of quiet as of late. Not super quiet. I know there's a couple people. Well, no, actually, no, it hasn't. Link's doing well right now too. It's up about 63%. Link will still do well. Link will still do well. Yeah, if you guys haven't already, make sure you hit that like on the way out. But I appreciate you guys. Appreciate you stopping in and taking the time. This will be available. If you guys want to rewatch it too, feel free to ask questions. That's what I'm always here for. I appreciate you guys. You guys are the reason that the channel has been growing the way that it is. And we are going to do some incredible things as we get through this market cycle. So have a great